Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we are just going to do a quick reading today, because we just want to finish the chapter so that we start the next chapter fresh. So like that. So where are we?
Canto 3, Chapter 32, Tracks 41.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Instruction should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all kinds of living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. Text 42. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, and who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. Purport. In the beginning, no one can be elevated to to the highest stage of devotional service. Here, bhakta means one who does not hesitate to accept the reformatory processes for becoming a bhakta. In order to become a devotee of the Lord, one has to accept a spiritual master and inquire from him about how to progress in devotional service. To serve a devotee, to chant the holy name according to a certain counting method, to worship the deity, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from a realized person, and to live in a sacred place where devotional service is not disturbed, are the first out of 64 devotional activities for making progress in devotional life. One who has accepted these 5 chief activities is called a devotee. It's interesting because, like I said, in order to become a devotee, it's like you have to serve a devotee, chant according to a prescribed number, worship the deity, hear sacred scriptures, or create some sort of sacred space if you're not able to live in a sacred space. Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes you get people that are new to the process and they get bugged out on one particular aspect, and you think, as Prabhupada said, it's a science and you have to become that guinea pig and apply that science, and then we can see the outcome of the process.
So what's your kind of point around a new person who gets bugged out? How does that?
Well, because when I read these different, like, it's so simple, and sometimes you feel it's easy to, like, I guess is to say, have you tried to follow the process? Are you hearing? Are you chanting?
But following the process requires faith.
Yes.
So, there's Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Vritti. And the thing is that you have a little bit of Shraddha, you come into the Sangha, the Sadhu Sangha, the association of devotees, and even you might start a little bit of Bhajana Kriya, but real Bhajana Kriya, as Prabhupada says, and I think basically he's quoting Rupa Goswami, that means you're at the stage where you take initiation, which means you're already chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regulative principles, like that. And that for some time. But a new person has a little bit of faith. They come into the association of devotees, and of course everyone brings in their preconceived notions, their inebrities about certain things. They bring all their own anartas, their past experiences, and then when they associate with devotees, we all have been and we all will be confronted by those things, right? So it's like they can't even get to all these things because their faith isn't strong enough. Because the faith is meant to be increased through sadhu sangha, which leads us to the next stage of, okay, so now I want to do what the sadhus do, and then that is meant to increase our faith to the point where we can deal with anartha nivritti. But you can't deal with removal of anarthas if you don't come to this kind of stage, So when you hit the anartha before you're ready for anartha nivritti, you're like, people pop out. That's why somehow we need I guess you could say we need to incubate people, but at the same time, from the other side, we would often say people need to be a little bit more thick-skinned, or they need to just stick it out and do what you're supposed to do, and then it'll become clear. But what was that? Touched that. Okay. Wow, that's where some light was coming from. So yeah. So anyway, it's an interesting point. I was wondering, what is it? This instruction. He says this instruction. The verse before, instruction should be given. Then it says not to be instructed, and then look into this instruction. And then I had to look back, and I presume he's talking about the instruction that should be given is all the instructions that Lord Kapila has just given to his mom, right? Like that. So, yeah. Anything else? Let me just try some. Please excuse for 1 second. A little bit. Okay, shed a little light on the subject. Okay, next paragraph. One must be prepared to offer the necessary respect and honor to the spiritual master. He should not be unnecessarily envious of his god brothers. Rather, if a god brother is more enlightened and advanced in Krishna consciousness, one should accept him as almost equal to the spiritual master. That's pretty powerful, huh? And one should be happy to see such god brothers advance in Krishna consciousness. A devotee should always be very kind to the general public in instructing Krishna consciousness, because that is the only solution for getting out of the clutches of Maya. That's interesting also. Wow, Prabhupada. That is real humanitarian work, for it is the way to show mercy to other people who need it very badly. The word Shushrushabhi Rataya indicates a person who faithfully engages in serving the spiritual master. One should give personal service and all kinds of comforts to the spiritual master. A devotee who does so is also a bona fide candidate for taking this instruction. The word Bahirjata Viragaya means a person who has developed detachment from external and internal material propensities. Not only is he detached from activities which are not connected to Krishna consciousness, but he should be internally averse to the material way of life. Such a person must be non-envious and should think of the welfare of all living entities, not only of the human beings, but living entities other than human beings. The word Shuchaye means one who is cleansed both externally and internally. To become actually cleansed externally and internally, one should chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, or Vishnu, constantly. Interesting. Prabhupada says, should chant Hare Krishna or Vishnu. You know, he even says you can chant Vishnu. And he also says, chant the holy name of the Lord, comma, Hare Krishna, or Vishnu. So it's like, chant the holy name of the Lord. You know, chant any, more or less any name of the Lord. And then he says, Hare Krishna, or. So, a lot of things in there also. I thought it was powerful about Prabhupada picking up on how devotees can feel envious of their god brothers, you know, or envious of someone else, and then they don't want to, you know, they become envious and probably start to lose taste. But they should be respectful. They should be happy. They should be appreciative. And Prabhupada says they should even treat them as almost equal to the spiritual master. So it's really powerful, you know. And there's some really important points here.
Next paragraph. The word Dhyata means that knowledge of Krishna consciousness should be offered to the spiritual master.
Should be offered by the spiritual master.
The spiritual master must not accept a disciple who is not qualified. He should not be professional and should not accept disciples for monetary gains. The bona fide spiritual master must see the bona fide qualities of a person whom he is going to initiate. An unworthy person should not be initiated. The spiritual master should train his disciple in such a way so that in the future only the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be the dearmost goal of his life. Interesting. Just to be a bit controversial, sometimes you do see people being initiated in this movement and do question why. And then, with all due respect, the spiritual masters, it's not like back in the day where you live near the Gurukul or near the Guru. So it's left to the local authorities or devotees to deal with these wonderful personalities. And I've seen in our own time, they don't always make it. They sometimes veer off the path, or they stay on the path and you wish they would veer off the path because they cause so much hassle. So it's interesting. It's like, but on the other hand, there are some sannyasis that even, I was just messaging one of my friends and like, when are you getting initiated? She's aspiring for someone who actually makes you wait many years. And there sometimes even says, it's not me, sorry, could find someone else. I ain't your guru, you know. Can see that, as it were. So it's interesting. Yeah, you expect the spiritual master to be on that level of purity that they can see beyond the material matter. And one of the sannyasis, I shouldn't name him, but very highly respected, very senior, just gave initiations recently, and he's made that comment, not in a proud way. It was part of a talk or conversation that he does see where the devotees are heading to, that takes shelter of him. Interesting.
In these two verses, the qualities of a devotee are fully explained. One who has actually developed all the qualities listed in these verses is already elevated to the post of a devotee. If one does not develop all these qualities, he still has to fulfill these conditions in order to become a perfect devotee. Interesting. So this is a good list. If you want to know what qualifies you to be a devotee, then here's your list. You can go through this and make a little tick box and say, well, I think I got that one. How about this one? Oh, I need to work on that one. And I think I have a lot of things to work on myself. Okay.
Okay, final verse 43. Anyone who once meditates upon me with faith and affection, who hears and chants about me, surely goes back home, back to Godhead.
Jai Haribo.
And that's the end of the chapter.
So thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 32nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Entanglement and Fruitive Activities.
So we've got one more chapter left of this canto.
Of the 3rd canto.
And we'll be in the 4th canto.
Definitely has taken a long time to get through the 3rd canto. Well, that's not the goal.
It feels really long. No, it's not. But 4th canto will be good. It's easier when there's like pastimes and whatnot.
My thing is, it's taking long because we're talking a lot, which means...
Well, you are.
Yeah.
Also, we've moved and we used to live in a place where they had pavements and normal things like that. So we would just step out the house and go to one of the parks which was nearby and read. You can't do that here. We've got a garden, hopefully in the better weather we'll do that, but there's no pavement. So we can't go anywhere.
Not that you need to go anywhere anyway to read the Bhagavatam. But Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Please read Srimad Bhagavatam and like,
comment,
subscribe,
share.
Hare Krishna. Hare Bhava.